Hi everybody and welcome to Group 2's Hazard Field Trip Tour. Now that sounds a lot more dangerous than it actually is, so what's going to happen is I'm going to show you 3 different places with different hazards having to do with the atmosphere, lithosphere, and hydrosphere. So let's get started at our first location, Brisbane, Australia, where we'll talk about the hazard precipitation. It's an atmospheric hazard. So as we can see, Brisbane is near the ocean, and that means it's automatically going to get a little bit more rainfall than the rest of Australia. See, if we head a little bit more inland, we're going to see that it's a bit more dry and arid. And as we head on back, we see more vegetation, and that means that there's a little bit more rainfall over here. Now, the big issue with precipitation is going to be hydroplaning. And I'm going to go down to the street level to show you a bit of it's going to be an easier way to explain it. So you're down here, and after or during a large rainstorm, there's going to be some oil, dirt, and grime that's going to seep up to the surface over here on the streets. And that's pretty dangerous to drivers, because if you're going a little too fast or if you brake suddenly, it's going to cause you to hydroplane, which could cause you to crash into other cars, into buildings, or into people. It's not fun for anyone. So the best way to prevent that is to be a bit more careful on the road during a storm, and to just gauge your distance between other objects and predict when you're going to need to brake. So our next stop is going to be in San Bernardino, California, where we're going to talk about the hazard of earthquakes, which is a lithospheric hazard. So as we can see here, the San Bernardino Mountains are clustering over here, and that's because this is near the San Andreas Fault. If we go up here a little bit, you can see it a tad better. See it cutting through there? And because it's near the fault, a lot of earthquakes are going to happen around here, and their intensity is going to be higher. As opposed to if we head further away from the fault, see how we kind of lose those cluster of mountains a little bit, and the intensity of the earthquakes is going to go down. Now, how do we prepare for an earthquake? Well, a good idea would be to have a backpack ready with batteries, food, water, and other essentials prepared and within easy reach, so when the quake does hit, you can spend more time getting to a safe location. And speaking of that, having a safe location planned is a pretty good idea as well. Have an evacuation route ready. And let's head to our final location, which is in New Orleans. And here we're going to talk about the hydrospheric hazard of storm surges. So storm surges are mainly caused by hurricanes and large storms. And since New Orleans is very close to the ocean, this is a very prevalent issue. Now let's say I was down here by Golden Meadow. Since I'm lower in elevation and I'm very close to sea level, this area is going to experience a lot more flooding than, say, in the more northern direction over there. Because further north you have higher elevations, which means you're going to have less inundation and less flooding damage. Now, there are a few ways to prepare for storm surges. Thankfully, we have weather sensing technology that is able to tell us there may be a storm coming in a few days, let's say, and we will be able to prepare for this and plan escape routes, possibly have supplies if the storm is deadly enough and severe enough. So the main solution to storm surges would be to have an evacuation plan and to follow it, and hopefully that'll keep you safe and you can wait it out until, well, the storm's over. And that is the last stop on our tour. Thank you all so much for listening. If you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. Thanks a bunch for listening.